Good Up is our space to talk about those experiences in life we didn't know we all had in common. We're the after work happy hour conversation with your best friend.
You good up bad, like, hello.
The place where you bring up the hard parts of life, the ones that made you laugh, and the things that made you who you are. Because who said becoming good up wasn't a little bit uncomfortable? Stay tuned for more information about this week's episode. Hey, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of the Good Up podcast. DJ, you look good. You look good. You look
Girl,
good.
not as good as you. The fucking earrings. The fuck? I'm so mad you don't make earrings no more.
Listen.
This is very crazy. The fuck?
Every time I wear Masha Company earrings, somebody will be like, Jay, what going on? Like,
I think it's really crazy that you just throw it in our face. Yeah, I don't do this no more, but I still got them.
I mean, yes, people, there are still Masha Company earrings all over my house, but that don't mean I have time to make them. So don't get
She's
excited.
A boss now. She got,
I get people reporting to me and time cards coming in. I got approved life.
Yeah, she got processed payroll and shit.
So yeah, but welcome back to another episode. We are so excited to be here. Don't ask me what episode number this is, because at this point we were just talking about how much we record on a weekly basis.
I mean, you don't have to say it. They already know. It's right there on the description on their podcast platform.
Whichever episode the screen said, that's the
episode to be.
Welcome back. So this week I'm excited for this episode though, because this is a topic that I'm really passionate about and I'm excited to talk about. But before we do that, we do have two guests on the podcast today that I want to allow to introduce themselves. So Cleo, I go and pass it to you, and then our next guest could go afterwards.
Hey everybody, my name is Cleo. I also go by Cleo B, or better known as Glow Whisperer.
Hey.
I am a self-care, skincare, self-love enthusiast. I am a licensed medical esthetician.
Yeah.
Just opened up my first location, Melior Aesthetics. And I have evolved into a very much free spirit, as you can see by my hair. Mm-hmm. It's always colored. I always have different colors. And I basically express myself through my hair, through my style, and also through skincare, self-care, and my whole self-love platform. So that's just a little bit about me.
Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And our next guest.
Hey, everyone. Hi. Thank you for having me. My name is Lanae. I am a born and bred St. Jonian. Very proud. Currently, I am a owner and operator of Child's Play Babysitting Service. We operate on St. Thomas and St. John. Hopefully, St. Croix in the next few years.
Yes.
Let's dial back a few months. Let's do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let's make it happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
But yeah, honestly, I am very much a free spirit as well. And my hair has a lot to do with that. So I'm excited about this conversation that we're about to have.
Yes.
Jinx.
Period. Okay, so I'm gonna just say, for those who are not in the VIP section, your goose cook, right? Because those who are could see that this is obviously a conversation about hair, and every person here has much different hair. Like you have hair, Isa, with her bun. You got me with my twist that coming out any day now. You get Cleo with his fucking blue hair that's giving me oh my God. And then Lanae gorgeous locks that you could tell she would take good care of. Because it's one thing to have locks, it's the next thing to have well cared for locks. And you could tell Lanae locks is well cared for. Okay.
Before we go forward, I do want to give a shout out to Miss Janae, also known as Pensive.co. Janae actually gave me the idea to reach out to Lanae to bring her onto the podcast. Janae is a fellow St. Jonian who also is on a lock journey. So it's a lot of girls from the Virgin Islands doing a thing in the hair game, and I was like, we need to have this conversation.
It's true. Like when it comes to our hair, it's like, it's amazing. It's beautiful to see, right? Like I like seeing our women be more adventurous with our hair. Because, Caribbean people, we have a natural free spirit about us, but we're also very conservative. We're not going to act like Caribbean people don't have are very conservative, you know, so, you know, and judgmental, you know, and I know when they see blue hair, like, first of all, Cleo change her hair color like every week, right? And I love to see it. First of all, shout out to her barber. He's the bomb. One day he might cut my hair if I even keep my hair short long enough for him to get his hands on it. But I know it got people who waiting for Cleo hair to fall out because they're fucking haters. Like,
no facts.
like, what? Like, and it's like it's possible to color your hair frequently and take good care of it. Like, stop being a fucking like, you know how people stay. You know, people love to ask you about that shit. We ain't gonna
because people have such a vested interest in hair, and that's why I wanted to do this episode, because in our community, not just the Virgin Islands community, but the Black community as a whole, as versatile as our hairstyles are, people act like you can't change your hair, or that you shouldn't, or that certain hairstyles are less professional, or like, people have such stigmas attached to hair and to hairstyles. So I wanted to make sure we come on here and talk about it, because it's deeper than just the hair. It's always been deeper than just the hair.
Yeah, like, it's our connection to our hair. It's what it represents. It's our connection to our
hair, and thinking about like racism and colonialism and everything that we've been through. Like, white people have been so oppressed about our hair from the fucking beginning of time.
Well, they made the women wrap it up because their husbands was falling in love with us, honey. Exactly. Like, they couldn't understand how our hair stood up like that, honey.
What was your relationship with your hair like in your childhood compared to what it is now? Like, how has it changed?
Honestly, it was just hair. I didn't care about it. And before, it was just another task, something else I had to take care of. Didn't really care about it. I feel like my locks really embody who I am as a person. They really do reflect who I am. And I feel like that's what made me connect with my hair on a deeper level.
My mother was raised by her grandmother, which was a Kittian Caribbean woman. If you don't have long hair, you basically ugly. So I basically hid behind my hair. Like, I hid my whole personality behind my hair. And I felt like that was the only thing that looked good on me, because it was always about hair length.
Yeah.
And I was literally just holding on to it. Not just physically, but I was holding on to it spiritually too. I felt like without my hair, I'm not going to be pretty anymore. So when I cut my hair, I was like, wow, I feel free. This is really who I am. Then I started coloring it, and I was like, this is me. Like, this is truly my personality. I feel like I have finally been able to be the person that I've always been hiding, be this free spirit that I've always been hiding. And I felt like my hair was like this, I want to say, like a film over who I was. Of course, I had family members, especially like my father and stuff. When I cut my hair, he was like, and start coloring, he was like, oh, you putting all this poison in your hair gonna fall out.
So your father is who I was talking about when I started the episode. Okay.
Yeah, and then 2 years ago, my mom, she works with this white lady in St. Croix in real estate. I had in a weave that time. And this woman gonna tell me, oh, I prefer your hair this way. And I was like, oh, even more of a reason for me to be wearing my hair out. Like, that was the last time I wore a wig. And I was like, I'm not wearing a wig.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry if you're a white woman and you don't listen to this podcast. I'm about to roast you.
Good, because I thought I was going to do it. I was about to be like, I really have to be violent 2 weeks in a row. Listen, I just let you have this one.
I'm about to get dry. One thing a white woman gonna do is tell you how they prefer your hair when they hair literally get one style, one version, one texture, one length. Like, Sarah, relax.
No, she sounds like a Susan. She sounds like a fucking Susan, bitch.
Relax.
Fuck you, Susan. And your mama. The fuck? Nobody asked you.
Nobody asked her. That's
like, literally, we don't ask y'all about y'all's hair, but y'all stay asking us about ours.
You think I not even ask white woman and be like, I prefer your hair like this. What else is there to prefer?
You know, I really prefer your hair straight because the beach waves just ain't it, Lindsay. Bitch, nobody. The fuck? Lindsay, I don't know. I just feel like the beach waves just don't suit you.
Hey, that shit will send me one. I prefer your hair like this.
Your hair is getting too long. You need to go to like a bob. The long hair it's not age appropriate anymore.
Right. Right.
Like, it's time for your quintessential bob, Lindsay.
Listen,
like, the fuck?
I think that's what sent me just now, and like what a trigger me, because that's my hair journey, right? Is like my entire life people telling me how they prefer my hair, and it's always a drastic opposite to how I prefer my hair. So shaving my head was a big fucking deal to like people was like, what did you do? Because it's not just shaving your head. Shaving your head when you are not skinny, when you don't have like
oh my gosh,
the face for a shaved head. Like Puerto Ricans will take their hair very seriously. Hair length is a very serious thing. Like your hair have to be long, it has to be straight.
Voluminous, okay.
It has, and the whole long and straight thing obviously has to do with internalized racism because curly hair is Puerto Ricans can't be black. You can't have curly hair when the reality is, we all know. So yeah, people were very attached to my hair being straight, right? Me and my sisters were getting relaxers from when we were younger, and a lot of people don't believe that I used to get relaxers. But
no, I remember your hair relaxed. I remember your hair relaxed.
Very, very straight. Like my natural hair was not my natural texture.
Yeah, no,
right?
I could tell. Yeah, and I think it's because I also used to get relaxers. I could tell your hair was relaxed. It was obvious that your hair was relaxed.
It was
like
bone fuck. It was just straight.
Yeah.
No personality, just straight. So what made me kind of attach myself to that straight long hair was how much other people desired it. So
and complimented it.
Even people who wasn't in my family was like, oh my god, hairs, I get such pretty hair. Like, don't ever cut your hair. Cleo, you make that comment, you get breed, right?
That's such a derogatory phrase. Ugh, that's so gross. I want people so gross, like the internalized fucking colonization is giving. Like y'all like such bucks. Like what the fuck?
Do y'all hear yourselves when you tell somebody you get like you have? First of all, I'm not a dog. I'm not a.
Okay.
What do you mean I have breed? Like as opposed to black? What's wrong with black? Like
what does that even mean? Y'all sound dumb. It's disgusting.
So basically what they're trying to say is like you have pedigree, right? Like you're mixed with something because your hair looks like you mixed with something, and that's better. And I internalize all of that shit. So anytime I used to have to cut my hair or like trim my ends and my hair was shorter and like mid back, I used to be like, my hair is short, like I don't feel pretty anymore. And what really transformed my view of my hair was when the natural movement stopped picking up and I stopped relaxing my hair and my hair went back to its natural texture and I had this like big curly hair out. I was so fucking in love with my hair and with myself. I was like, this is me. I look wild. I love it. Like,
yeah, your hair is so gorgeous. Your hair is so gorgeous.
And people used to listen. My parents, my like co-workers, especially when I was back home and I had older co-workers, it was just like, you ain't gonna comb your hair. Mind you, it would be like a wash and go, right? My hair just curly. That's it. You ain't gonna comb your hair? I remember somebody telling me when I was at work, this older man was like, I owe you now. You could just leave the house however with your hair curly and wild. But back in my day, my parents would have beat me for leaving the house like that, right?
I didn't ask you, Curtis. I didn't ask you.
Nobody asked this man.
I did not ask you, Harold.
He walked into my office and just said that to me, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like,
yeah, I'm so glad you said that
because my hair.
The internalized racism, the colorism, the texturism, it ran deep in my family. I have memories being a child, right? We didn't see very many Black people on these shows, especially the shows where the main characters were white. When they would have a Black person, it was usually a biracial Black person, right? But their hair would be out and curly. And I have memories of my mom being very critical of that. If they're going to have a Black woman on the show, the least they could do is comb her hair. The least they could do is fix her hair. Black women don't just walk around with her hair wild like that. And I used to think, oh, she looks cute. Like, I guess, like, I didn't know it was a problem. I've never had nobody tell me how they prefer my hair. They definitely compliment me more enthusiastically when my hair is like straight and long. Yeah. Like, for instance, when I used to work at my ghetto ass corporate job, the girlies used to go up for my fucking wigs. Okay. I think in their minds, I just straightened my hair because I think they were trying to learn how Black hair works. So when I would come with my wig, they would be like, oh my God, Deidre, you are beautiful. Your hair is gorgeous. And I'm like, thank you. And it would annoy me. And then when they would do that, I wouldn't wear my wig to work anymore. Like, because no, you're not going to play in my face like this,
Right.
But
have they ever tried to touch your hair?
You know what? God. I had one girl who attempted to, but let me just take a moment to shout out my bitch Daniela, right? Because Daniela is a white Colombian, but Daniela was like, skirt, you're not gonna touch my friend's hair. Like Daniela was, mind you, Daniela is so tiny compared to Daniela is like 4'11". Daniela is very short. I think I'd gotten many compliments about my hair already. And one girl had complimented, and as she was complimenting my hair, she was reaching to touch it. And Daniela kind of like pushed her hand out the way. I was like, don't do that. Like, do not touch her hair. To answer the question, my relationship to my hair since childhood, it's just as complicated as y'all's, right? My family is very kind of mixed up, right? But one thing, all the women have like long, beautiful hair. But my mom relaxed me and Diamond's hair at a very young age. I don't think she wanted to be bothered with our natural hair. You know, me and Diamond have long 4C hair, and it was just a lot of work. So my mom chose to relax it. And so I spent most of my life having long hair for a Black girl. That was always people's compliment. For one, at a very young age, people would ask me if I was wearing a weave, and I'm like, and then there were people who would want me to prove to them that my hair was my hair. That was very uncomfortable. And I'm like, what? Like, that was gross. But I can remember a time where my mom kind of lived vicariously through us because of hair, like that relationship to hair, you know. So she took very good care of our hair. Like, she was the person who like relaxed it. She kept it together. She was one of those, like, we wasn't leaving the house with our hair done. Like, my mom used to style the fuck up to our hair. She did not play about our hair. She had a fit when Diamond cut her hair, because Diamond cut her hair at a young, Diamond was a teenager when she cut her hair for the first time, and it was because Diamond's hair had been damaged. And Diamond also just didn't want to be bothered with her hair. My mom could tell Diamond was wanting to cut her hair. And at this point, we're going to the salon ourselves. Like, our mom don't have to bring us to the salon. We used to go to the salon ourselves. So she knew Diamond was on her way to the salon. And she said, Diamond. And Diamond turned around and said, yes, mommy. She said, do not come back in this house with your hair cut. So Diamond said, okay. And Diamond went back to our room. And our mother said, I thought you were going to get your hair done. She said, well, you said not to come back with my hair cut, so I ain't going to the salon.
Period.
My mother was so vexed, but my mother would have rather seen the haircut than that fucking head wrap. So
she let her cut her
my
hair.
mother said, Diamond,
pick your poison.
Just go do your hair, Diamond. My mother was so vexed.
I actually have a question for Lanae as it relates to locks specifically. Like, how did people react to you wanting to lock up your hair? Because I think people have, with that same attachment that we're talking about to like good hair and nice hair, people feel that way about locks too when you just switch over to that.
Listen, it was a process. I feel like by the time I decided to lock my hair, my family was just like, it's Lanae, she gonna do what she wanna do, like just leave her alone. Cause my hair was perm, did the big chop. They were like, why you cut your hair? I'm like, I don't care. It's my hair, it gonna grow back, whatever. Went loose natural, they were like, you gonna comb your hair? No, I'm not. To me, it's combed. Thank you. By the time I get to my locks, they were like,
they had accepted.
Yeah, she can just do what she wants.
It was like
alone.
A process leading up to it.
It is what it is. So, my hair now, like looking in the camera, I'm like, look at this.
I wish those who are not patrons could see what we're seeing, because she really loves her hair. Like, she's literally looking at her hair.
But I love that for you though, because like again, we have such a connection to our hair, so it's important that you love it. Like, it's important that you get to a place where you're like, yo, I fucking love my
I want
hair.
to ask y'all something, because I've noticed this, especially like with our people, right? I feel like they have like, it's a very, I won't say love-hate relationship to locks, but they love your locks once they get long. I feel like they don't kind of drag people when they in that, what they don't call it, the awkward stage.
The ugly stage.
Oh my God, all people are so fucking toxic.
I was like, that does not exist here. That does not exist here. And like looking back on my pictures when I started them,
they were always cute.
It does not exist. When I exactly. I'm like, they were stuck to my head. I'm like, they had look a little funny in the pictures looking back now. But at the time when I did my hair, I was like, I can't talk to it. Like, I got laughs. It's a Rasta man. Like, I cannot talk to me. Like,
and you know, that's the beauty.
Like, now that they getting longer.
Yes. That's the beauty of it being your hair though. And you know what? I think that's the key, right? I think when your hair journey is yours and you don't care what other people think, you're going to enjoy every stage of it. But when your hair journey is rooted in other people's opinions, it's rooted in like how, like the amount of compliments you get, you're going to have your insecurities, right? Because if you started your lock journey because other people approved of your locks, you would have hit the ugly stage, right? One day I saw a picture of myself and my edges was thin, and I legit called my friend. I said, you need to come cut my hair off. Like, I'm not gonna
I remember that.
You remember that? You remember that?
It was right before we were supposed to record, and DJ called me. I was like,
I remember. She was like, what did you do? I said I had to cut it. Let
me tell you something. Ever since I shaved my head, anytime I see a woman shave her head, I don't be fucking living.
Hey, I was so excited.
spiritually, I know what it does for you.
So first of all, if I think every woman should have a point in her life where she wears her hair shaved, because for one, when I cut my hair, I still kept a lot on the top because the plan was never to keep my hair short. It was just to cut it off and start fresh. So that was the reason why I cut my hair. So I kept a lot on the top, but every time I went to the barbershop, I was like, take off a little bit more, Jonathan. Just take off a little bit more. Before I knew, and y'all have seen, I've had my hair in a fully low. It was giving. I love my, and then I went blonde, right? I feel like it's like an inevitable, like you cut it and then eventually like, oh, try something cute. Girl, I was blonde. I was popping. I was like, you're not talking to me. I got tired of short hair. I miss long hair. I like my hair getting pulled. I like flipping my hair. I like long hair. So I had to be like, okay, D, like, it's time to grow out your hair, but if you grow it out, you ain't gonna have time to maintain your natural hair. So grow it out and relax it. So that's where I'm at. It's obviously in these braids because it could finally catch braids. Listen, the minute my hair could catch braids, I said, bitch.
If you follow me on Instagram, you know the first day I got my braids.
I remember.
I was so excited.
I'll know I have an appointment for some knotless box braids in a couple weeks. I said book my initial appointment and then also book 2 weeks later so you could redo the front. Like I was like, it's over.
My hair braider, and she knows. Shout out to Shay's Braids in Phoenix, Arizona. Shout out to my girl. She know every like 6 weeks I calling you. Like right now we overdue.
So I'm excited.
But I have a question that I want to ask Cleo specifically because I mean, and Deidre, you can relate to this too because like we've done the full like shave. When you shaved your head, what was that first day, Cleo? The day you look in the mirror, I was like, oh fuck. I shit, like, what was that reaction?
What did I do?
I was like, so I went in the mirror and I was like, damn, I cannot attach this thing back to my head like this.
I did it. I definitely did this.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this shit is really gone. Because I had just cut out like the braids and stuff that I have. It wasn't shaped up or nothing. So yeah, I was looking crazy. It was the week before my 28th birthday. And my sister and me, and we take our regular ass scissors, no hair scissors, and we just cut one braid. So it was looking uneven as hell. So I had on a headscarf for like the whole week. Then I finally went to the barber. And that's when I shaved it up. And I was like, oh yeah, this is it. This. Nobody can tell me nothing. Girl, I FaceTime all my friends. I was like, look at my head. It was a very spiritual experience for sure. Because I felt very attached to the braids that was in the sink. And I was like, I don't know if I make the right decision. I don't know how I gonna look. And then I had my parents, like you said, hey, I said a whole thing about shaving your head as a woman that's not skinny or a woman that's plus size. And my father, I remember this man does just say some really ridiculous things, but he was like,
for the time you said my father, I knew this man said something wild.
It was like,
if anybody gonna play in your face, it's your father.
Yes. I was like, yeah, I about to cut my hair. This was before I actually cut the hair. And I was like, yeah, I about to cut my hair. It's really damaged. And he was like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. You need to wait until you lose weight. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
So I tell my sister, I said, okay, even more of a reason for you to chop this shit off because this man gave me upset. Like it was like, okay, as much as I did it for myself and I needed to do it for my hair health, there was a little bit of spite in my father in there. Like when I color my hair and I cut it over, he called me for my birthday and he was like, oh, it looked really nice. I really like the short cut. Yeah, you should have. Then this man gonna twist his word and say, yeah, you should have do that. That's much better than all them. I'm like,
he's so fake.
I like, you're not about to turn me crazy. What you about to do is not send me crazy because I don't understand.
You know where it comes from though? Like all those comments, especially when it comes to us shaving our heads, that's fear. That's people who, even men, like men could never picture women shaving their heads because like the thought of a woman not looking feminine will scare them. Like it'll scare them. And even with women, like women who react strongly to us shaving our heads is because for them it's like I could never do that for myself because my head my head shaped funny or like, and I relate to that so much because me shaving my head was fucking rebellion. Okay, I was like, I about to make fuck. I don't know me. I love to make fuck.
I know you do.
I was coming. So 2016, that was my last pageant title, right? And if you know pageantry, you know everything is long hair, weave, collie.
Oh, for sure.
But pageantry in Texas is that to the umpteenth fucking power, right? Southern women is long, voluptuous.
It's big too, yeah.
And it's big. So that was my hair when I had that title. And in the middle of my reign, I started to get this like itch, right? I was like, I want to cut my hair so bad. Like, I don't want long hair anymore. I've had long hair my whole life. I don't want long hair anymore. And I remember I text Steven and I said, would you be mad at me if I cut my hair? And he was like, hey, as I don't cut your hair. And the minute he said, hey, as I don't cut your hair, I was like,
that was it.
Oh, yeah.
That's their roles.
But
that's their roles.
Steven has never been the person to be like, oh, like he doesn't feel strongly about it one way or the other, but he does love like my hair, like my big collie. He just loves big hair. So he was like, hey, as I don't cut your hair. I was like, all right. I remember I text back, all right, bet.
He knew you cut your hair. At that moment, he knew you cut your hair.
Fucking salon. So that first cut, it was actually a pixie. It wasn't me shaving my head. It was just a pixie. But even that, for a person who was still a pageant queen, it was in the middle of my reign.
But that pixie was a vibe because I have like memories of you and that pixie coming the fucking crown. Like, that shit was a vibe.
It was
you
fire.
And that pixie was fire.
And then for me to have a pixie and like I had to wear my crown and all of that stuff, like I remember I had to go back and get a lining for the inside of my crown because my hair used to be so big that a crown had been sized for hair that big, and then I had to like size it down. People's reaction to me doing that, and it was mostly older people, so like my advisors, my people who are related to like the university who I had to work with all the time, people reacting so strongly to a pixie made me tell myself, as soon as I graduate and I done with this title, I shave in my head. I taking it a step far. I want to make fuck, I could make fuck too. I shave in my head. So when I graduate, I wait a couple of months, and it was when I moved to Florida, and I tell my sister, I was like, I literally moved to Florida December 29th or something like that. And the day I get there, like literally we driving home from the airport, I said, you need to tell your, at the time, her fiance to call his barber. I coming tomorrow. Like,
period.
The day after, went in, shaved my head. But just like you, Cleo, so I beat my face before, and I remember vlogging this. I beat my face before I went because I was like, I wasn't ready to see myself with no hair and no makeup either.
Girl.
I was like, it's one or the other. I gotta come out looking fine. Like, I need to prepare myself.
I wish I used to do that because my barber used to have to constantly reassure me because I would be in this man's chair like, Jonathan, what the fuck? I look hideous. He's like, Deidre, it's just all the lighting. I promise you, you're fine. And it's just because you need a haircut, D. Like, my Jonathan used to be like really like reassuring. I'm like, Jonathan, why you ain't tell me I look so bad? He said, Deidre, you don't look bad. Just give me 10 minutes. And then he'll be done and I'll be like, bitch, I'm fine. But then, because I used to go to his chair unbeat, and I wish I thought to go with a beat face.
And that's the thing. I went because I wasn't brave enough yet. I wasn't ready. I was like, I've never seen myself. Like, I know I want to do this, but I have this big head. I have this big forehead. I was like, I about to look like a man. That was my biggest fear. I'm about to look masculine. And it goes back to Cleo, what you were talking about, where when you're not skinny and you shave your head, like sometimes our body shapes, like the curves aren't like obvious, or like I like have broad shoulders and all that. So I was just thinking about like, how do I look without my hair? And I was like, I'm going to look masculine, so let me beat my face. So the first day, you couldn't tell me shit. I was like, oh my God, I look dope. I shaved my head. This is amazing. Let me tell you how I went to a Dominican barber shop, right? And Hispanic men and women's hair, everybody in that shop, it had at least 10 other barbers. It was a big room. Everybody had their chairs. Barbers and clients, everybody stopped when they see what my barber was doing when he was cutting off my ponytail. And they were like, okay. And they're like cutting hair, but they're looking like, okay, what he doing? So at first, I think they thought I was doing like an undercut or like shaving my side, or maybe just getting a pixie. And then this man turned on the clippers and he had the big like guard on them and went straight up the middle of my head. They literally were like, hey, she cutting her hair? She cutting her hair? Like, I remember them asking
they'll be so concerned.
She cutting her hair? Like, they could not believe it, but they continued cutting their clients' hair, but like they would turn and keep watching the barber cutting mine. And when he was finished, everybody was like, yeah, man, she look good. She look good. It looked good. Like they could have seen, they saw the vision, right?
Yeah.
But when I went home and I washed my face, I went to sleep. When I wake up the next morning, it was a reaction. What the fuck did you do? And it's that like regret that was setting of like my hair gone, it gone, and I can't put it back, and it gonna take so long to grow back. What did I do?
You know what I love about short hair? Just having the water from the shower run on top of your head.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I miss that. 'Cause even when I got these braids, that was the first time since cutting my hair that I hadn't been able to do that. So those are the fun parts about having short hair.
The shower, and then when you shave your head, you don't realize. Listen, I was being exposed to how much like men's life experiences, right? Because men are historically the people who've had shaved heads. The first time the wind blow, and I feel that fuck up my skin.
It don't feel good. It don't feel good. I like that fuck. Me gonna lie, that fuck don't feel good.
Yes.
I look back like, who the fuck? I feel like somebody walk up to me and like blow on my head, right? And I was like, wow, this is a lot. I have to get used to this. But it was a beautiful journey. Like I will wrap it up there and say that, like, me shaving my head, and I've done it twice. I did it that time, and then I grew it back to shoulder length, and then the pandemic hit, and they were like, yeah, man, we ain't leaving the house for like 3 months. I was like,
and Stephen was cutting your hair.
Yes, I remember that.
He shaved my head, and he
thought that
was my
was so
barber.
cute.
And I remember men telling me, right, and people would say this online or just at work, like, how does your boyfriend feel about it? And I was like, he cuts my hair. He shaved my head. it like reaffirmed for me, like, okay, this is not, it doesn't have anything to do with like how attractive you are. Like, this man still finds you beautiful and attractive and feminine, and he love you with your hair short, and he love you with your hair long, and you's a bad bitch either way. Like it was
it's exactly, it's something sweet about having your partner be a part of your hair, because that's like I like when my partners help me wash my hair. Like when I used to have my big long hair, my trifling baby daddy used to like wash my hair for me sometimes and it was sweet. I think it's sweet.
It was an amazing experience. What I will say though is the fucking backhanded comments when I start growing my hair back.
Really?
People, I remember somebody saying, oh my God, you look so pretty now.
What?
I could probably relate to this. Like, even you, Lanae, like when your locks start to get longer, how people would react differently to the longer locks versus the shorter ones. Like, people, when my head was shaved, I stopped getting complimented like on the street, right? Like men stopped publicly approaching me because I don't know if they knew how to react to my short hair, right? Especially if I didn't have my makeup on and stuff. Like, I was asked about my sexuality a lot, like if I like women,
I believe it,
which I would be like, yeah. But I didn't get, in comparison to now that my hair has grown back and I don't be wearing it out, like I'd get approached a lot more with longer hair than I did with shorter hair. Even when men be like, oh, I don't care, I like it long or short, like publicly, like public compliments, it's different. People in their compliments, they're very backhanded, so they'll be like, oh my God, I'm so glad you grow your hair out, or you're so pretty, your hair's so pretty now, or it's just a lot of comments.
I literally hate people. like, what is the point?
That is so crazy.
People are very backhanded with it.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like, I feel confident and I feel pretty and I feel really good, but there's also a lot of like, sometimes you don't feel insecure, like, should I have cut my hair today? I don't feel as feminine, like I kind of look crazy today, like I don't know. It's a back and forth, but it led to me like having a better sense of self-confidence, because like I know how I look either way.
Yeah,
it's like it don't have nothing to do with me or my sense of beauty or self-confidence or any of that. Like,
I saw this thing on TikTok some dude made. He was talking about like women's hair journeys and how we have this habit of like, he literally named an entire cycle that we go through where we'll have our hair at the exact length and volume that we want, and it'll be healthy, and then we'll get bored and then do something drastic and then like love it but then hate it. And he kind of named a cycle that is pretty accurate. And I was just so proud to see the amount of women in the comments that was like, but what's it to you?
Yeah, that ain't your business.
It's literally because he was so pressed. He legit was trying to, like, he was really coming for women about the fact that we do all of this and we're so unsatisfied with our hair. But our thing was, but what's it to you?
Not just
let her
what's it
have
to
her
you,
thing.
right? Not just what's it to you. Every person on this podcast, you know, in the course of this episode, has talked about how other people have made comments to us about our hair and how people tie our hair to like our sense of beauty and again self-confidence, like, and we all have different types of hair. So Lanae went through her natural hair journey and she shaved her, you know, she cut her hair and do the big chop and everybody was like, what did you do? Cleo with her short cut and her father comments, like, so people know that no matter what we do our hair, somebody gonna make a comment and then they'll be like, why can't women just be satisfied with one version of hair? Well, I gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly.
Because I ain't gonna be happy with it either way. So
that part.
Exactly.
Because if I cut it short, you're gonna say I look too masculine. If I put on a wig, you'll drag me for not wearing my natural hair. When my hair is natural, you're gonna drag me for it being too nappy. Fuck you.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when I relax it, you're gonna tell me to stop putting them chemicals in my hair. So how about fuck you and your mama? And I'm gonna do what I want to do with my hair.
That's how I feel.
Like,
no,
do what I want to do with my hair, and you're gonna take it or leave it. Okay, like you're gonna take it or leave it.
That's exactly how I feel, because when I come, like now, I feel like I have leaned more into my femininity with my short hair. Like you can't tell me shit.
You're not gonna tell me nothing. You know. Yeah. Oh my god, I want to hear something wild. This is so like unrelated, but also related. And so this is me talking too much of my business, right? This was my old sneaky link. One time he was here, right? And we were hanging out. And we took a break. And then he went to the restroom. I was getting ready to go.
We took a break
from hanging out. And I was getting ready to go to bed, right? Because nigga, you about to leave. I'm about to go to bed. And I put on my bonnet. Right? So stupid. But then we started hanging out again. And he took off my bonnet while we were hanging out.
What? Wait.
He did not want my bonnet on while we were hanging out.
He didn't like it.
It wasn't a sexy thing. He literally took my bonnet off and put it to the side while we were hanging out. And I was like, and I didn't make a thing of it, but I was like, that's probably the last time. Oh shit, that's the last time we had sex, you know?
See? Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was
your spirit was like.
I think my spirit said never again.
Nah. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, because I mean it's been a while. That's, you know, I have not been having any fun, you know. But anyway, but that was the last time we had sex. The night that man took my bonnet off. I love that for myself. I love that for myself. But don't be taking women's bonnets off. Okay, learn to love the bonnets, because if you can't appreciate what keeps her hair beautiful, then you don't get to enjoy her beautiful hair. Okay, those bonnets are why you have hair to upholster. Okay, those bonnets are why. So just enjoy the bonnets.
That bonnet conversation, girl, that's a whole nother thing.
Okay, and I have cute bonnets. It's not like my bonnets are raggedy. My bonnets are very cute and lavish. Okay?
But how do you guys feel about bonnets like out in public though?
I don't want
like they had this whole thing on social media.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
You know, how do you feel about hair? Because me personally, first of all, I'm a very what you eat don't make me shit kind of person. Yeah. So I don't care. I don't care if Luann be wearing her bonnet out. Yeah. I don't wear, when I'm walking Gypsy and Nuri, if I have on a bonnet, I'm not taking it off to walk my dogs. If I'm taking out the trash, I'm wearing my bonnet. If I'm going to the bodega, but am I going to wear my bonnet to the mall? Probably not. Obviously, I'm not going to wear it to work. I'm not super attached to it. And I don't care what other people do in their bonnets.
I feel the same way. Like there's certain places where I wouldn't wear mine just because I don't feel comfortable doing it. And because, again, I was raised by somebody who would probably like snatch my ass up for leaving a house in like same, or however.
Yeah, same.
But I don't think it's that deep. Like when I see other people wearing bonnets in public, I don't see them and be like, oh, she got a bonnet, and I don't move on with my life. Like I don't know. I don't think about it too much, because on one side we telling Black women especially, you need to take care of your hair and your hair look crazy and your hair in style. But then if I wear a bonnet in between hairstyles out, then you telling me that I look ghetto because I wearing a bonnet. Like which one is it? Like
Pick a
They can't make up their mind.
They can't. And that's why our hair
Yeah.
journeys are ours. That's why we
Yeah.
do what we want to do with our hair, because y'all ain't never satisfied. So why are we still trying to satisfy y'all?
And it's all about respectability, which is bullshit, by the way. Respectability,
Literal bullshit.
So I want to ask how it is, and I'm gonna pass it to Cleo and Lanae. Like at work, in work settings or in like professional settings, like what has the reaction been to your hair, and like do you ever kind of second guess yourself when it comes to your hair in those settings?
So I have done many different hairstyles when I worked in corporate America, and I would get like better reactions when I would wear like my body wave wigs, or like my straight ponies, my low ponies. When I cut my hair, I was still working at my corporate job, and my boss, she's a Black lady married to a white man. She was like, "Oh, I just love your hair. I wish I could have cut my hair, but my husband would not allow it." And then there was the white man who was sending me weird Teams messages like, "Ooh, I love your hair. I wish my wife could pull this off."
My Black queen, my Nubian queen.
No, honestly, truly, if anybody love our fucking hair, is them.
I love it. Love it.
Why you think we?
Here's the crazy part. So the backhanded compliments that I would get about like my more natural hairstyles when I would go to work would be from the Black women.
I know.
"Oh, you should press out your hair. Have you ever thought about doing a silk press?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do a silk press when I want to, but I don't want to do a silk press right now." "Oh, why are you wearing your hair in a high curly puff? You know, you look young. You look like a child." And I'm just like, and these are women that's probably like 4 or 5 years older than me. And they consistently press out their hair, or they consistently wear straight wigs or straight weaves because they want to appease corporate America. And I guess some people still have this whole, if you wear your curly hair out is unprofessional, or if you wear colored hair is unprofessional, which to me, all of that is dead. We are in 2020.
That's bullshit. Yeah,
that's
right.
dead. The reactions that I got from the white men were probably some of the best reactions I've gotten versus the Black women.
And you would say it's older Black women or Black women in general?
I don't know what it is, Frank, but there's something about it.
I would say it was the middle age to older.
Middle age, yeah. I have my opinions about them.
Yeah,
I got my opinions about them.
My opinion about them, Deidre, honestly, is they need to hop on the bandwagon and actually start doing different shit with their hair.
But it does make me sad, especially for Black women who, like Gen X and older, that they've grown up their whole lives believing this bullshit about respectability and their hair and who they have to be and how professional they have to be and this and that. And some of them have like woken up and been like, yeah, F that, like that's BS, I'm not doing it. But a lot of them do still buy into that bullshit.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Like older Black women never pressured, well, sometimes they would pressure me to have a certain style of hair, especially if I wore my hair like Carly and like Wild or whatever. But a lot of them would do that whole like, oh, you have good hair. Like they would make my hair more desirable. Like, and it would paint, like it would bother me because I would be like, dude, like you're insulting yourself and trying to compliment me. Like your hair is beautiful to me, and then you calling it bad, but then calling my hair good. And it's like, what are you saying right now? Like I remember dating a guy when I first started college, and his mother, and it had to do with skin and hair. Yeah, because I talk about it on the colorism episode, where she was just like, oh, your baby's gonna be cute. Like now you have a light-skinned girlfriend with good hair, like your baby's gonna be pretty. And I was like, but what if he had a baby with, and the irony is that now he has kids and they're with a dark-skinned Black woman, and his kids are gorgeous and his wife is gorgeous. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I wonder what your mother think, because I remember what she said to me. But
I'm glad for him that he has children with who he wanted to have children with, and not who his mama thought he should have had children with because of her internalized racism.
And I mean, we were young and we were nowhere close to like being married.
Of course,
but like I think if we had, I was like 18. But in the back of my mind, I think that if we had gotten to that point, it would have fucked with me when I had kids, because I would have looked at my kids like, wow, your grandmother only think you cute because you light skin and
yeah. But you know what? Shout out to you for having that mindset, because you'd be surprised how many women who fall in your category of Black men's preference.
Oh,
they revel in that. They revel in that.
Yeah.
You know, you're one of you are. It's so sad that of all the preferences, you fall in that minority who are like cringed out by that shit and who realize how problematic it is. Because there's so many like women who look like you who revel in it, and they kind of weaponize it against Black women, and it's like, girl, you can have that family, because you can have them, you can have him and his mama.
I so big on that, especially like if I ever have children, like people gonna be so fucking like annoyed with me because I'm not going to let you compliment my child based on their skin tone or the hair texture. Don't be like, oh, you have such nice, pretty, good hair. No, because there's a possibility I have a dark skinned husband with 4C hair. Like my daughter might look like that, and I am perfectly fine with that. I would love that. So anyway, I wanted to pass it back to Lanae for the question about like professional settings, because I think you have like a unique perspective where you're here. So like, what in a workplace setting have been people's reactions to your hair?
I was like trying to think back. I think my hair has been natural for so long. The only professional setting I could think of is when I was here working. I came home, I graduated, and I was working in the government. And I didn't really have many, I was here. So all of us Black, like I didn't really have that experience with white coworkers with my natural hair. But I had that issue with older coworkers. They'd be like, yeah, you gonna comb your hair today? I remember I get so fed up. I was like, fuck this. I could just come up with my fro out. And who going to send me home? Like, who? I don't write me up for my hair. Like, it was just, that experience for me made me love my hair more. It was just like, fuck how you like, miss, you sit down in your corner, in your cubby hole with your ends straggly. I need to cut that. But worry about my fro, like, please.
or your half wig.
Yeah. Listen, the 27
your ends is live, dyed, fried, and laid to the side. And you're worried about my good, juicy, moisturized afro. The fuck?
Okay. I can see your neighbors calling up under your wig, but you talking about my afro? Like, please.
Read her, drag her, finish her.
I can't. I cannot be bothered.
And for those who are not... For those who are not from the Caribbean, and she said your neighbors in the back of your wig, that's the kitchen. For Black Americans who don't know, in the Caribbean, well, at least where we're from,
the kitchen.
Your neighbor,
your kitchen.
Yes, her neighbors that she saw behind that lady's wig was her kitchen. Okay.
Right.
I love
aggravating.
Black.
Very aggravating.
They will get it.
Very. Yeah.
But other than that, when I went to the States and I was working in CarMax actually. Same experience. The men were like, oh my God, love your hair. Like, this is kind of creepy, thanks, but stay about it, kind of Jeff. I'm okay. But yeah, honestly, my biggest obstacle would be with other Black women, older Black women. Yeah.
And all of that is just internalized. Like, all of that is them repeating to you what their parents repeat to them, what their parents repeat to them. And it's all connected to slavery and colonialism and us being told that our hair have to be a certain way in order for white people to respect us and in order for white people to find it tame and respectable. And it's like, okay, no matter how we've worn our hair, no matter what color it was, bonnet, no bonnet, locks, no locks, white people gonna still be fucking racist. Like,
exactly. They're still gonna discriminate against us.
Exactly.
Like, why are we still shaping ourselves for their approval? They're never going to see it for us.
Never.
But it's so funny because they do so much to try to embody
like us.
What we like. Come on, sis.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you ain't hearing white people going to their little trailer park relatives being like, yo, Caroline, get your shit together because these Black people need to respect us. Like, they don't give a fuck. So why do we give a fuck about them? Like,
and
I just being real. Like, it's just, look, I'm not so stereotype and I respect it. Me gonna apologize for that fuck because guess what? you ain't gonna beat my ass, but
who's gonna beat my ass?
Who's gonna beat my ass? But that's just the real, like, when Black people try to adhere to these like or try to step away from quote unquote stereotypes, right? The question I don't always want to ask is like, who are you trying to impress? When you ask me why me and comb my hair, or why my hair isn't straight, or why would I cut my hair, like, who am I trying to impress, and who am I trying to prove something to? Like, because please don't tell me it's a white man. That's my mission in life, is to piss them off. So why would you tell me?
Yeah.
In conclusion, I appreciate Aya so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your story. So I want to pass the mic back to both of you. And I want you guys to tell us, like, how can the audience support you? Like, where can we follow you? What are you working on?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram. I have 3 accounts. So my personal is _whisperer. You can find all types of stuff there: style, hair, fashion, skin, self-love, everything. My aesthetics business page is Mia Luyeur Aesthetics. I'll spell it. It's MIALUEURESTHETICS. And then my actual product line is Mia Luyeur, which is just MIALUEUR. You can find all your plant-based skincare products there. And if you're in Atlanta, you're looking for an esthetician, you also are a recovering cancer patient and you need somebody to help you with your skin, I am here to help you. You could just book on the site.
I want to congratulate you before, I pass it on to Lanae on opening your first location, like getting your license, going through aesthetics,
such a big
like
deal.
School. That's a huge deal. And I think for a lot of us who watch from when you start Mia Luyeur to now, like we're seeing a mogul being made here. Okay?
Period. I can't wait to come to Atlanta to get my skincare needs, honey.
Listen, I will do an episode. I hold the mic and you could do my facial, and the whole time I do the episode.
Yes.
But we love to see it, and so proud of you. So congratulations on everything.
So my personal page on Instagram is Boss Up with Lanae. My business page is Child's Play Babysitting. Currently, I'm working on different activities for children that they could do in the Virgin Islands. Like, we have nothing for the kiddies, So I'm in the beginning stages of that. And my goal is really to just build a program for children, things that children can do here productively. So yeah, Boss Up with Lanae and Child's Play Babysitting. And that's where you can find me.
Hey, we love to see it.
I love that you're doing something for the kids down there.
Yeah,
it's so necessary.
It's needed.
It's so necessary.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked to parents and I'm like, what do you do? What do you do with your kids? Just show them in front of Cocomelon. Like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
It can't happen. So, yeah.
Love it.
We're working on it. We'll get there.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for coming on. This was so good.
Well, thank you for having me.
This was amazing.
I will tag everything in our episode description. So if you want to go follow Cleo and Lanae and support everything that they're doing, we will be right back here next week with another episode. But before then, if you want to help us keep the motherfucking lights on, is bitch. You see how expensive things starting to look, right?
Our set is getting more and more expensive, honey.
Our Patreon is where the VIP people go. You get episodes 1 week early. You get full video of all our episodes. That's something nobody else gets. And our lowest tier on Patreon is $1 a month. $1.
Shout out to that.
Okay. I spend more on Starbucks weekly. Okay.
You can't get anything for $1 at Starbucks.
And honestly, truly, you could do it on a one-time basis. Even a one-time $1 donation goes a long way for our podcast.
It certainly does.
We have a good set of awesome patrons. Just shout out to y'all for keeping the lights on. Check that out at patreon.com/gooduppodcast. I almost said beautiful people.
Wow.
And then you can find us on social media at gooduppod. With that being said, you know how I like to close the episode. Deidre, tell the people bye.
Bye.
Good Up is hosted and produced by Deidre Ritter and Hey Isaac Quinones Ivory. Find us on all social media platforms at Good Up Pod. Use hashtag Good Up Tuesday to continue the conversation and get access to exclusive bonus content at patreon.com/gooduppodcast.